firstly, if you could just introduce yourself, your full name and your designation, please.
Yes, Elliot Ferguson, President and CEO of Destination DC, ELLIOTT FERGUSON.
All right. Thank you so much for talking to ANI. To begin with, DC has the biggest footfalls when it comes to the 4th of July celebrations. Tell us, how different is celebrating 4th of July in Washington, DC?
I love the fact that you call it the football, because in Washington we do have the biggest celebration of the independence of our country in America. So the beauty of coming to Washington, even if it wasn't the 4th of July, is the fact that there's so many things that you can see and do that are free. Our monuments, memorials, and museums. So just imagine 4th of July, free concert on the mall, free seating on the National Mall, and of course all the other things in which you can enjoy, that ends with one of the most epic fireworks in the country. So we're always excited in Washington. We feel like we own Independence Day as a city, and we're really excited about the hundreds of thousands of people that come to the city.
All right. To give a sense to people, who think traveling to DC on the 4th of July could not be an easy affair, give us a rundown of what somebody can really do on the 4th of July here, starting from the parades on Constitution Avenue, and of course the fireworks at the end.
Yeah, the excitement of the 4th of July in Washington really starts with the parade, which is earlier in the day. The most important thing for visitors to remember is that you want to try not to bring a car into the city. Use public transportation. We have one of the best systems in the country. It's easy to get to the National Mall and other parts of the city. So be at the parade, and then after the parade, enjoying other things you can see and do in Washington. Of course, the free museums, monuments, and memorials, and then ending on the National Mall with an amazing concert and amazing display of patriotism.
All right. America celebrates its 250th, independence year 2 years down the line. Talk to us about, how it's going to be different celebrating the 250th anniversary in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, 2026 is a big year for Washington and the nation. As I referenced, of course, the largest Independence Day celebration is in Washington, and we anticipate working with the National Park Service and several other organizations that the largest component of the celebration will be here in the city. The key thing for visitors to look out for if they're looking at coming in 2026 is our website, washington.org, because we will give you insight as to every single thing you can see and do in 2026. Of course, it will also include the 4th of July, but it'll be the entire year. So there will be events and activities that visitors can come and see and do throughout the entire year. The cool thing about that is that in addition to the 4th of July celebration, we have National Cherry Blossom Festival, we have Passport DC, a major event in the month of May, we have the Jazz Festival, and the list goes on and on. So you can make your plans to come to the United States, come to Washington, D.C., flying nonstop to Dulles Airport, taking the metro in from Dulles into the city, and then enjoying all the amazing things, including the celebration of the 250th.
Right. Now, India is, one of the most important markets when it comes to Washington, D.C., and tourism. Talk to us about, how important is the Indian tourist when it comes to Destination D.C.?
Yeah, as a destination, we invest heavily in the Indian traveler coming to Washington, D.C. We have an annual trip, which concluded just a few months ago, whereas we're really talking about all the aspects of Washington as a destination. Free things, great accommodations, all of the events that take place throughout the year. And of course, the large Indian population that exists in Washington, D.C., which of course includes Indian cuisine. Washington is a destination that is very familiar with international visitors coming. We're ready to host NATO in Washington, D.C. next week. And India for us is one of the fastest growing markets in terms of visitation. So we focus a lot of time and attention in making sure that Indian travelers know exactly what to do and expect and how they can navigate Washington as a city.
All right. Thank you so much for talking to you, and I appreciate it.
You know what? It's our pleasure.